First game up, it's we're still trying to learn about the surface. Yes, traditionally there's a bit of turn there. It does look dry, so how much pace is in there will be a question. We'll still have to learn about it as well. We played earlier in the week, but the nature of the surface has changed. So even though it's a home game, it still takes a little bit of time to understand the home conditions. Yeah, it is important. So there's a real emphasis on starting the tournament well. Last year we won a couple of games that could have easily gone the other way, but it did a lot for the team as we were getting back together. So we know the importance of a good start in the IPL. There's no extra pressure on the game. It's just that you want to start a tournament well and get into the rhythms of playing well. So that's what we'll concentrate on. We're certainly not desperate to win the first game and it being at home. It's just an opportunity that we look forward to. Ngidi's a big loss. He was the find of last year for us, and he bowled very well, and we were looking forward to having him for a majority of the tournament. It's one of those things. We've got a squad that can cover it, but sometimes players are a little bit special and do some things that we really value, and he was one of those. So the onus just goes on the other players and overseas options. We're taking our time with the replacement at the moment, just to look at the balance of our side and an area that we can improve, or a player that we want to fit into the game plan that we finish on. The game plan you start with isn't always the one that you finish up with, so we're taking our time with it and making sure we make a measured decision. Well, one man doesn't win the IPL. It's a very tough competition to win, and it's getting tougher because teams are a lot smarter. Just because you got probably the best batter in the world, one of the best players in the world, it doesn't mean that he's going to have success with the IPL. There's a number of things that go towards it. One thing I do know about Virat is when there's a challenge put in front of him, most times he meets it. So his expectation with this team will be to give it a good run, I'm sure, as most other franchises will be wanting. But it's winning competitions is a byproduct of how your team goes and leading your team, so there's a challenge there. And part of the batsmanship that certainly my era and before was about reading bowlers and watching the ball. Now it's a little bit more about power. Wrist spinners got clever as well. They play a role where the batsman has to be aggressive, and so they can't just be sat on. So players have to take a risk. So again, look at back before T20, you could take your time with wrist spin. Now you've got to be aggressive, and if the ball you aren't sure either way, then it can be your downfall. So they're effective because they go both ways and connect both outside edges of the bat. And caught on the boundary or deceived through the air is their major weapon. So they've got very smart with it, and I don't see it changing quickly either. I think it's they're good weapons to have. Well, experience counts in our camp, and we bought, as you guys said last year, a very old side, but prefer to look at it as an experienced side because recall does count. And being able to stand up to pressure situations and recall how you dealt with them in the past is a key component in a fast-moving game. Our players are still very skillful, but that experience to us counts.
Don't forget to like, share, subscribe, and leave your comments in the comment section below. Click on the bell icon for notifications.